Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Psychosin project here on Total Metal Radio. And join me through the power of Skype is Trevor Strnad, lead vocalist for Black Dahlia Murder. Welcome to the show.
Gee, thanks for having me aboard, my man.
No problem at all. Now, you're gearing up to release your new album called Abysmal on the 18th of September. What have the influences been behind this album?
Well, the saying that there's like a recurring theme of hell in Abysmal. That's what's up with the title and the artwork, and but it's our 7th album now, and I don't know, man. I'm really excited. I feel like it's the best thing that we've ever.
Excellent. Album. Are you starting to feel like veterans of the scene nowadays?
Well, I mean, it's definitely not as intimidating as it used to be to go in the studio and stuff. I remember when it was a real anxiety-ridden time, and now, you know, we've done it so many times that it's kind of like a second nature thing, you know?
Yeah. So you talk about back when you were doing the Miasma album, around then. What can people expect from the new album?
They can expect the most energetic Black Dahlia Murder yet. It has a more live kind of approach to the recording that I think definitely lends itself to being high energy and more emotive than anything we've done in the past. And it has a similar kind of, you know, live approach to the first album, and I think that really has been the X factor that's been missing from our recordings. Yeah. So, you know, we're going to kind of turn our backs on overproducing everything. And there's so many overproduced death metal records coming out nowadays where the drums all sound the same, they use the same drum samples, etc. So we just wanted to go back to recording it the old school way. Yeah. A little bit longer to do, but I think the result is a more timeless kind of sound, you know, like how the albums that we used to like before the year 2000. That's pretty much how everything was done, you know.
Yeah, so, without that really polished studio sheen that seems to be prevalent within death metal at the moment.
Yeah, you know, with just too much stuff was sounding the same, you know, and you have too many bands just using the same exact drum sounds and the same guitar sounds, and, you know, Pro Tools has definitely made it easier to tackle recording death metal, but I don't know if it's like the right thing to do necessarily, you know. Yeah,
I mean, it makes it harder to sort of make your own band sound stick out from the myriad of other sort of death metal bands already out and the ones that are coming out as well at the same time.
Yeah, you know, so in a way it was like moving backwards was moving forwards for us, you know. So the record isn't perfect, it's not squeaky clean, but it has a lot of attitude and a lot of personality, and that's what we wanted to do, you know. And when I hear it, I feel like I'm hearing my band playing live right in front of me, you know, so it's definitely what we sound like, and I like that.
Excellent. So is the live sound something you've been kind of been aiming to recapture over the past few albums then? Sort of go back to that hunger that you had on the first few albums.
Yeah, but we didn't really realize how to do it, you know. Even the second album was quantized and, you know, perfected with Pro Tools. So, I mean, we've just been kind of, I think, you know, part of the fad, I guess, you know what I mean, for a long time. But we just had to realize, I mean, how, you know, every classic record we like was approached, and, you know, just do it like that, basically, and I think it made things a lot better for it, you know.
Excellent. Now, how do you feel that the sound of the Black Dahlia Murder has evolved over the years, over the 7 albums?
Well, I think we have the same initial mission statement, you know, like it's still a melting pot of black death thrash, but I think that just the playing has evolved a lot over the years. The guys have gotten a lot better at their instruments with each record. You know, they come and I get excited to hear what they're gonna bring forth, because they always just seem to improve a lot in 2 years, you know. So that was definitely the case here, but yeah, you know, I just think it's been in the last few years since Ritual, there's been a lot of growth as songwriters, and that album was a turning point for us. It was, you know, realizing that it wasn't just about playing as technical or as fast as you could, but you had to give the listener something to chew on, and, you know, build some kind of build-ups and dynamics and more variety in the songs, you know. So that's when we started to have some slow songs as well, and it just opened the door for us to do, what we've been doing for the last few records, and it seems like the fans like the turn, and Abysmal is just the most realized thing down that road so far. It's got a bit of everything that we do. I think that if one record was going to represent us, for the rest of metal history, I would hope it would be that one. It's a good one.
Well, only time will tell. You never know, your next album could be even better, man.
I hope so. I mean, we're going to keep on trucking, that's for sure. It's funny to have 7 albums, but to not feel tired or, old, or I just feel like we have a lot more to do still and a lot more great records to make, and, we have the energy for it. We're excited about this, and, even though the band's been around for 15 years, I mean, it's just been on a slow, climb, man. It's just been an awesome thing to see and be a part of, and and right now is just the most exciting chapter yet. It's just looking really good right now.
Yeah.
People seem to like the preview songs a lot, and the artwork and the pre-orders are doing really good, and yeah, it's an exciting time for us right now.
Well, you're saying you've only been around 15 years. It's not that long. I mean, compare yourself to like Cannibal Corpse and Devourment, man. You got plenty of years to go yet, so plenty more albums.
Right. And I mean, those are, Cannibal Corpse is ultimately like our model that we model ourselves after. You know what I mean? Like to be a band that's dependable for the fans, where they know what they're going to get. It's never going to like do a left turn and change their style. And so far, I mean, it's been looking pretty good. We've been able to kind of survive the changing of generations. Now when I go to our shows, like I'm the old man there. They're half my age, and they look at me like an old weathered man. And I see myself at 15 in the crowd almost every day at one of our shows. Just the kid with wire glasses and a bowl cut. That's just a total introvert weirdo. I mean, that was me. So this band has been like my chance to blossom and beautiful flower of a man.
Now, once you've released the album, are there any plans to hit the UK soon for a tour?
Yeah, we will be in the UK in toward the end of January.
Excellent.
And the tour will be announced within a few days now, and we're pretty excited about it. I can't tell you who it's with yet, or somebody somewhere is going to rip my nuts off, but it's an awesome tour. I'm really excited to announce it, and it's we're going everywhere. We're going to UK, we're going to the mainland, Europe, and it should be very thorough.
Excellent. I'll have to come out to that. Now, was this album difficult or easy to write? Because as you said, it's your 7th album. Obviously, sometimes it makes it easier making that many albums. Sometimes you start struggling a bit. So.
Yeah. Initially, this has happened with the last few records. Like, initially, I will just be stumped as what to do, and I feel really down on myself, and I go, "Well, you ran out of blood and guts. There's just nothing terrible left to talk about." And that's it. You shouldn't have wrote so many lyrics. You should have just shut up. So, I mean, that's where I start, and I was definitely, feeling the pressure of having so many eyes on us, and having 2 of very successful records right in a row, and just, I was definitely feeling the pressure of that for a second there, and out of that frustration came Receipt, the opening song, and it was kind of a cathartic, like a suicidal type anthem, and getting that out, was kind of like pulling the cork out of the bottle.
Yeah.
Opening the floodgates. But it does happen. It is a lot of pressure to, and like to deliver, and also, this is our source of income as well. So there's like that factor. Our whole life basically is in the pipes here. So it's important. It's important to us to deliver the goods, to satisfy ourselves and satisfy the fans, and but for the most part, I can keep it in check, and I just appreciate the pressure. I appreciate the fandom, and it's just really cool to have someone that cares about what you do.
Yeah, because obviously you come out during, well, essentially there was a bit of a flood of death metal bands coming out around the same time as you, and obviously you've done well with your own sort of unique sound as well. good to see you guys still going, really, where so many others kind of fell off by the wayside a bit. Now, going back to the new album again, have you got any guests on there, and did you look into getting any guests on the album that didn't quite pan out?
We had some guest musicians, like there's some kind of operatic vocals in the second song, and some of the stringed parts, the cellos and stuff. But I mean, nobody notable really to nobody from a metal band or no guest appearances of that kind of style. And I do, I like listening to bands that have the guest appearance, but I mean, we just want to be able to reproduce everything live that we do. So we've kind of strayed away from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's really the only reason. But I like doing guest spots. I've done a lot, of appearances, and I like, hopefully drawing some attention to smaller bands that I like, by doing a guest spot and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just not for us, really. I mean, we just want to be able to play every song from the record and have them sound just like they were, just like the studio, and that's pretty much the only really thing that's holding us back from that.
Yeah, I suppose the other thing is as well, you don't want to sort of end up being sort of tagged with something like, if you have guests on the record, suddenly being tagged as the Limp Bizkit of death metal, where you always have guests on songs on every album.
Yeah, you have a guest in every track, It'd be awesome, though, to, just pull up and stops and be like, how many can I cram into one record?
One song,
Yeah, we'll just make the We Are the World of death metal.
That could be amazing. Honestly, out of any band, I think you'd be the guys to do it. Now, here's a question that stumps a fair few bands that I've asked in the past, if I could say the word properly. How would you describe your own sound?
Hyper fast, melodic death metal. But that doesn't even really cover everything, but that's close enough.
That's the short version. We'll stay with that.
Yeah, that's the short version. It's black, death, and thrash metal. I mean, it's Carcass at the gates, some Morbid Angel in there, and kind of the slow parts that we do, the sludginess.
Yeah.
And that's really the core influences, I would say. There's a lot more other stuff, as you'd imagine, but those are still at the heart of what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, so keeping the sound sort of pure to mainly those influences coming through more than anything else.
Right.
Now, what can people expect who haven't seen you? Like, I myself sadly haven't managed to see you live yet, but what can people expect from a Black Dahlia Murder live show?
They can expect a full contact, hour and 15 minutes of blasting metal mayhem. And I like the show to be crazy. I like people to come on stage and sing into the mic. I like stage divers. I like moshing. I like general carnage. So I try to ramp things up as best as I can and get people going buck wild. But it's all a release. It's all to make somebody happy.
Yeah.
It's death metal, and people consider it like, oh, it's so negative, but you go to the show for a positive outlet. You go to see something you like and forget about your problems and forget about work and smile for an hour, have a beer.
Yeah.
So, it's a positive experience,
Yeah, that's the weird thing. I mean, I listen to death metal myself, and a lot of people are like, how can you listen to that? Doesn't it depress you? It's like, no, not at all. If anything, it cheers me up. Because sometimes some of the lyrics are so extremely over the top, you can't help but smile. Same as watching a really over the top cheap B movie. So
I mean, that's largely what metal is to me. Is like I take it seriously. But I can also step back and laugh at it as well. It's tongue in cheek, man.
Yeah.
It's exactly like a horror movie, and I approach the lyrics like that. And I like over-the-top lyrics. I like the challenge of trying to stir some emotion in someone who's already jaded to the gore of death metal. Because 20 years of death metal, man, it's just the violence of it is just all static after that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've heard every dead baby joke. You've seen every gory album cover possible. So I try to keep that in mind with what I do, and I try to just make it as creepy as possible, man, and hopefully something that will resonate, you know?
As creepy as possible. Does that mean the cover for the new album is just a picture of Justin Bieber?
Yeah, it's Justin Bieber with no clothes on.
Oh, God. There's something that haunt me nightmares now. What are the future plans for the band?
Well, like I said, we have a lot of touring in the pipes. After we do the European tour in January, we have more stuff coming. It just hasn't really been solidified yet, but we'll be going all over the world. We'll probably come back to the UK a second time while the album is still, fresh, and who knows from there. But it's definitely going to be busy times for us.
Excellent, excellent. Now, have you found that social media sites such as Facebook and Twitter has helped spread the word about the band over the last few years?
Oh yeah, I mean those have been instrumental. You know, for a long time we didn't even have a website anymore. We were just too much lazy stoners, and we were just like, we have Facebook. People are coming to the Facebook. Forget about it. You know, but now Facebook is like cock blocking. You know, basically like you have to pay to get everybody on your Facebook to see what you're trying to post. So we've been exploring other avenues. I'm finally on Twitter and, you know, trying to ramp up the social media aspect of things a bit. But Facebook, man, definitely threw a wrench in things.
Yeah, I mean, don't feel too bad about only getting on Twitter, man. I only joined it about a year ago myself. So now here's something that might well stump you. Which of your own songs do you believe best represent what the Black Dahlia murder are about?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I gotta say Receipt, man. The opening song of the new one, I think it just embodies the best of what we do, and it has a really powerful chorus. And, it's somewhat familiar to what we've done in the past, but I just think it's really well executed. And, if there was a button on my headstone that was going to play one song, for anybody that wandered up to it, that would be the one.
Excellent. Now, finally, do you have anything you'd like to say to the fans listening?
Man, just stay tuned. Pick up the record in a few days. We'll really appreciate it. And we'll be out there in the UK soon to thrash your face off in January.
Excellent. Well, Trev, thank you very much for joining me on the show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Trever Strnad from Black Dahlia Murder.